friends, it's Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. In today's video, I'm sharing a new sublimation printer to the market. It's the Brother SP1, and it may be a really good sublimation printer for you. In this video, I'm going to go over all of the features and specifications of this Brother sublimation printer, and because a lot of it is technical, I do have my notes here. I just want to make sure that I don't miss telling you anything about this printer. Brother has been making consumer printers for a long time, but this is their first foray into the sublimation game. I am not surprised that more companies are coming out with sublimation printers because the market has absolutely exploded over the last couple of years, and so I'm actually glad that there is another option for consumers out there today. You all know that I love my Sawgrass sublimation printer, and I tolerate my converted Epson printer. So I was excited to see what Brother might bring to the market that is new and different from either of those machines. If you're new to sublimation, sublimation is a printer craft. So basically you are going to print using a specialized kind of ink on a special paper, and then you'll use a heat press to transfer that print to a garment or another blank. The big caveat here is that garment or other blank needs to be polyester or poly-coated. I do have many videos about sublimation, including a basic overview, which I will go ahead and link. And then I also have tons of sublimation tutorials on my blog. So I'm not going to go too much into what sublimation is in this video, but if you need to know more, you can go ahead and search through my YouTube channel or my blog. So this is the Brother SP1 sublimation printer, and it's got a very nice footprint. It's just over 17 inches wide, a little more than 13.5 inches deep, as well as a little over 6 inches tall, making it one of the smaller sublimation printers you can buy. This printer would be really great for a smaller craft room if you just don't have that space for the larger printer. I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of the graphics that they put on this printer. It feels sort of like an early 2000s PowerPoint presentation to me. My husband referred to this as my Trapper Keeper printer, which tells you sort of what you need to know about this design. I really wish they'd kept it white, but there's nothing I can do about it. The Brother sublimation printer is competitively priced at $399, so you can convert an Epson EcoTank for cheaper than that. But other than that, I think this is the least expensive sublimation specific printer that you can buy at this time. It's just under the Epson F170, which retails for about $449, and then the Sawgrass printers start just above $500. Ink for this printer is sort of mid-priced, $39 a cartridge. The Sawgrass is $79 a cartridge, so much more expensive. The Epson F170, slightly more expensive printer, but the ink is a little cheaper. You can get all 4 colors for about $100. If you did want to convert that Epson EcoTank, the ink is much cheaper. You can get all 4 colors for under $25, but there are a lot of problems that come with converting a printer, and honestly at this point, if you can afford it, I would definitely choose some sort of sublimation specific printer. Overall, I think the Brother printer is reasonably priced and should appeal to a lot of crafters. Setting up the Brother printer was super easy. You pop in the inks, they install super easily, like maybe the easiest inks I've ever installed. It's like a very nice little click when you pop them in there. And then you can go to the Brother website, download the drivers for your specific computer, and you can install the printer. In addition to your computer, there is also an app for this printer. It's called Artspira. I'm going to go into it a little bit more later in this video, but just know that if you don't have a desktop computer, but you do want to do sublimation, you can use this app. You can technically use your phone for the other printers, but this makes it a little bit more easy. I have some issues with the app and I'll talk about them, but if you're looking for a printer that allows you to print from a mobile device, a phone, a tablet, this might be the printer for you. With your sublimation printer, you'll also get 10 pieces of Brother sublimation paper. Now there's something here that it's probably a little hard to see on video, but there is a tiny notch cut into the corner of their sublimation paper. And this notch always goes in the bottom right corner of your tray, so you always know which side of your paper is up. The paper, however, is almost $36 for 100 sheets, which is more expensive than the other sublimation paper that you might use. For example, I can get a pack of the A-Sub paper or a pack of Craft Express paper for about $20 for a pack of 100. So while I like that little notch, I don't think it's worth an extra $15 per pack of paper for me. I went ahead and printed on another brand in here and it worked really well. Not to mention, a lot of other brands are now putting a watermark on the back of their paper, making it very easy to know which way's up. Now let's go back to that Artspira app. So this app is pretty robust for Brother's other offerings. So in this app, there are 7,000 embroidery designs. There are 3,000 cutting machine designs for their scan and cut. However, this has not been built out very well for sublimation yet. I'm gonna throw a screenshot up, and this is their current free sublimation designs. There are 3 of them. Now, of course, I think they're going to build this out, but to go in there and be like, okay, what can I make? And to see these 3 designs, I was like, oh, great, this is not all that great for sublimation yet. They also have paid sublimation designs. So you can pay $12.99 a month and get the premium version or the plus version of this app. And you can scroll through them. You can actually download the app and scroll through everything for free without even getting the printer. And I have to say, I'm just not thrilled with a lot of these designs. I think they're gonna be adding more, but for now I'm like, I don't know. There are also no templates or anything like that that you might find with like Design Mate for the Sawgrass. It's basically just images, so you have to figure out what size you want them to be before printing them. So overall, I wish this had just been built out a little bit more before they launched the printer, because right now I feel like the sublimation offerings feel like an afterthought. But again, they will probably build this out over the upcoming months and years. One good thing about this app is that you can upload your own photos and designs. So you can just upload photos straight from your phone, making it super easy. You can also, buy a design on Etsy on your phone, download it to your phone, and then upload it to the app. It actually makes printing with an app much easier than maybe printing to an Epson printer or a Sawgrass. So if you are one of those people who doesn't have a desktop computer, this might be the option for you. Outside of the Artspira app, the Brother printer does not have any software, so it's like an Epson printer in that way. The Sawgrass has their own design software, but with an Epson or with this Brother, you're going to have to choose some kind of design software. You can use just about any program to print from, something as simple as Google Docs all the way up to something as fancy as Photoshop. Not having a program might be a little intimidating for people who are just not really good with graphic design software. I do have a couple of tutorials on my blog for printing from Google Docs, Photoshop, and Cricut Design Space. I will go ahead and link to those just in case you need to get started. Now let's talk about how this printer prints. The first thing I will say is that it's slow. It's slower than any of my other sublimation printers, including my converted Epson printer. It's much, much slower than my Sawgrass. I couldn't find any information about like page per minute or whatever, but I have to say that I was like, is it going? So if you want to print a lot of sublimation designs, this might not be the printer for you. But if you just want to print a few designs, you'll definitely be okay. And then the most important thing is, how does the sublimation print look when it's pressed to its blank? So sublimation prints will come out of the printer looking faded and the colors won't look right. So I have a sublimation print here that I printed on my Brother, and you can see that the colors look a little bit faded. It's also reversed because you need to reverse most sublimation images for your blank. But once I pressed it to my t-shirt here, wow, I was really impressed with the colors straight out of this printer. I'm gonna try and hold both of these things up here. So you can see that the sublimation print very faded. This makes this. And I was just really, really pleased with the color right away. Color can be so difficult to get right on a sublimation printer, especially if you convert a printer. So having a printer that basically printed exactly what I wanted on the first try was really great. I was also really impressed with the print quality, not grainy, just a really, really beautiful print. If you've been around the sublimation world for any time at all, you may be wondering about the maintenance for this printer. Maintenance is a huge topic in the sublimation world because if you convert an Epson EcoTank printer, it doesn't do any maintenance and it clogs very easily. The Epson F170 doesn't have any automatic maintenance, but Epson says that it shouldn't need maintenance. That being said, people say that printer clogs, and so they still recommend printing often. The Sawgrass printer, however, does automatic maintenance twice a day. It basically pushes a little bit of ink through the print heads so that they don't clog. I have to say, it took me a long time to figure out what this printer does for maintenance. There is not a lot of information about this printer online, but I did find the online user manual. It was 200 and something pages, and I just dug in there to figure out what this printer needs for maintenance. Deep in the user manual, I found this line. The machine automatically cleans the print head when needed. Okay, does that mean it cleans it once a day? Does it somehow detect clogs and then clean them? I wasn't really sure. This morning when I was working, I actually noticed the printer making some noise, so I wasn't even on my computer. I was cleaning my craft room and all of a sudden it makes some printery noises, and I think that was the automatic cleaning. I can't be sure because there's nothing in the user manual that says that's the automatic cleaning, that it does it automatically like that. And there's absolutely no information that I can find about it online. It's just my best guess. I have to say that when I printed my first nozzle check, when I first got the printer, it was perfect right out of the gate. Gorgeous, and I haven't had any issues printing with it yet. And then if you are having issues, I couldn't find a way to run a nozzle check on my computer, and I couldn't figure out a way to run it on the app, but you are able to run it really easily from that screen on the front of the printer. So what are my overall impressions of this printer? I have to say, I really like it. I think it's great for everyday crafters. I love the quality of the prints I get out of it. They have pressed really nicely. It's small, it works really well in a smaller craft space. When compared to an Epson EcoTank converted printer, this one definitely wins. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but you shouldn't have any of the color issues or maintenance issues that you will have with a converted printer. Compared to the Sawgrass, honestly, it's close. I have to say that even though it can be kind of glitchy, I do like having Sawgrass software. I like having all of the templates that I can work with. Just makes it a lot easier to create some designs. You can also set a lot of print settings in the Sawgrass software, including what type of blank you're using, those sorts of things that just make your prints a little bit better. I also have the Sawgrass SG-1000, which means I can print on the much larger paper. This is limited to 8.5 by 11, except I did notice actually right before this video that the drawer does extend to 8.5 by 14. So I think you can print on legal size paper. I haven't actually tried it, but the drawer does extend, so I assume you can. My biggest issue is with this Artspira app. It feels like they have tried to cram sublimation printing into an app that was really made for embroidery and cutting machine design. I do think, again, that they will fix that over time, but if you're looking for a robust software to use with this, that app is not it. However, if you don't have a desktop printer and you want to be able to upload things and print them on a sublimation printer, this will work. And that is my overview of the Brother SP1 sublimation printer. If you have any questions about this printer, I would love to hear them in the comments. If you get this printer, also let me know how you like it. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. Follow my channel for more sublimation, Cricut, laser content. I'll see you next week.